All right, everyone, let's kick off the weekend with a little blues lick. Actually, we'll do a couple blues licks just to kind of tighten up a few things. So, welcome to the Friday stream for our YouTube community. And we're going to do this. We'll do on our left hand C, G to C, A. In our right hand, we're going to do a C7 chord, C, E, G, and B flat. And then here's the trick. You're going to play this lick. So there are a couple of important things to know, and you'll be able to play it in all keys. So make sure as you come into the chat, say hello, and also like this video if you're enjoying the content. Okay, so you take a C7 chord, C, E, G, and B flat. So from a C scale, very simple. We're going to take our index finger and go up to the note that's right next to your middle finger, which in this case is the F sharp. So you're actually on the F sharp, which is the tritone of C, the sharp 4 away. And here's what we're going to do. 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4 and... Actually, let's do it like that. You can go 1 and then 2 and then 3 and 4 and 1 and then... So we actually want to be able to do both, but the first thing is to get the pattern down. So you take any C7 chord, any 7 chords, 1, 3, 5, and flat 7 on the major scale, and watch my index finger goes up to the note that's right next door to our fifth, which is G. David, what's up? It's good to see you again. 2 in 1 day, David? Very impressive. David is a member of our Blues Academy. Awesome. Good to see you as always. So we had this C7, 1, 3, 5, flat 7. And David, you can put in the chat if you understand what's going on here. Our C7 lick. Hey, Vicky, good to see you. Vicky is a member of our Blues Academy. You have this little lick, and we're going to do 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 1 and then 2 and then... So on the 1 and then 2 and then, so the and of the second triplet, 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then. Let me decide which way I'm going to teach you guys, because you could either do this, or you could go, or this. I think we need to teach it like that the first time. 1 and then 2 and 3 and... Awesome, David, that you were actually practicing this today. Perfect. So I'm thinking that you were in Blues Volume 1 if you were doing that, because I don't remember going over that specific exercise this morning, but it is one of our Blues Roadmaps in Blues Volume 1. So 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4. So all you have to do to lock up the hands, it's really important to me, is to make sure you can lock that up with the left hand. So you have 1 and then 2. So notice that when I'm on the F and A, I'm on the C and A. 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4 and... So obviously in the left hand you're going to practice this very simple quarter note bass line. So C, G of whatever key, 1 and 5 of the scale, whatever key you're in, and then 1 and 6, so C up to A, so C, G, and C, A. And I love it if you guys will use 5-2 to 5-1. To me, that's the best way to get the best, in my opinion, the best fingering for this specific simple bass line. Another thing to do is always make sure you repeat the bottom note. Don't let the C drag down there. Make sure you repeat it each time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now in the right hand we're going to do 1 and then 2 and 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and then 2. So notice there's a triplet on the first beat. So before we go to, we're about to go to the F chord, but I also want to make sure you guys are locking up the hands. So 1 and then 2, and there it is. The C and A lock up with the F and A. It is really good to see both of you here on this stream, even after our awesome stream this morning. Now, David and Vicky, we did talk about the minor third to major third, and okay, it's different from what, okay, so you were doing what we did this morning. But David, that's great because it's not that much different from what we did today, because this morning it was all about that minor third to major third, right? And the importance of, yes, being able to play our blues scale, which is really important, but also we occasionally want that major third in there. So as you hear this lick, David, you just simply, you hear both, one and then two and three. So sliding off from that minor third to the major third is a really nice sound that we want to add into our blues vocabulary. But you're definitely right on the money when it comes to what we were practicing this morning. So I want you guys to understand that as we're learning these minor third to major third licks and ideas, it's always going to be on the slide keys, the same fingering. So when I go up to the key of F, which is the 4 chord of the C blues, I'm going to build the same thing, an F7 triad. So root of the F scale, 3rd, 5th, and flat 7. But then what did I say you're going to do with your index finger? You're going to take it up to the note that's next to your middle finger. And notice that that gives me the tritone of an F scale. Well, what is the tritone from an F note? So I go up the F scale, F, G, A, B flat, and I'm going to sharp that note, and now it's F up to B, and that is our tritone interval, our sharp 4 interval. So if I build that chord again, F7, my index finger goes up to the note next to my middle finger, I'm immediately set up for that. And put that, if you understand that shortcut, got it in the chat. And so the shortcut is build whatever key you're in. You can name any key. And in fact, I want you guys to do it. Just put a couple different keys, and I'll show you how easy the shortcut is. But I'm going to do 1, 3, 5 of the 1, 3, 5 flat 7 of the F major scale, and now my index finger goes up to the note next to my middle finger, and now I'm set up. And now I'm going to go B flat, try it in second inversion, and then minor third to major third. Now, let's talk about this in the key of G, which is the 5 chord of the C blues. And we're going to go G, B, D, which is 1, 3, 5 of the G major scale. And then on top, we're going to have a flat 7. How do you find the flat 7 of any note? You go down a whole step, and that gives you that. So watch, my index finger is going to go up to the note next to my middle finger, and I'm perfectly set up for G. Okay, now, just to make sure we're clear on how to build this lick, I'm going to go back to C because it's really important. Vicky, let me go ahead and demonstrate this for Vicky in the key of D, just to show you guys that we can easily do this in any key. So we're going to go D, F sharp, A, and C natural. Well, how did I know how to build a 1, 3, 5 flat 7? Is because I know the scale of D. D major has 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. I'm going to simply build a triad, and then how do I find the flat 7 of this particular chord? Remember that if you play the root note of D up here, and if you go down a half step, that gives you the major 7, but for a D7, we want the bluesy sound, the flat 7. So you go down a whole step from your root, and that immediately gives you the flat 7. So then Vicky said, play the same lick on D. So watch this. I'm going to go index finger up to the note next to my third finger, my middle finger, and now I'm set up. And notice I had to do something. I had to hammer on that minor third to the major third. So you have F up to F sharp. Let me do that again. You're here, and I have this. Now I'm going to go back to the key of C because I'm going to show you something that very, very important that'll help you play this lick in all keys. Now, when I said to build this lick, you take the 1, the 3, the 5, and the flat 7 of any scale, and then my index finger goes up to the note next to my middle finger, and there I'm set up. Now, as I hammer on this lick, notice that I'm holding the top note, and I do a triplet, 1 and then. Okay, I want everybody to pay attention. And again, like this video if you're enjoying this. Leave a comment on the replay if you're enjoying this. I love that you guys have been interacting with me, leaving comments, letting me know what you like and what you'd like me to cover. So thank you for that. But notice that I'm here, C7. My index finger goes up a whole step, which is right next to my middle finger. Now watch this. 1 and then. You notice that I kept the B flat down. That's what makes this, one of the things that makes this lick sound really nice. Notice that I'm doing a triplet, 1 and then, and my fingers are 2, 3, 4. It'll be the same fingering in every key. 2, 3, 1 is what I meant to say. 2, 3, 1. So triplet, but then watch what happens next. These top two notes are F and A, and a C on the bottom. So you guys know from studying with me or anybody else is that you have triads. You have a first inversion triad. You take the bottom note, put it on top. Now it's first inversion. You take the bottom note, you put it on top. Now you have a second inversion triad. That is my favorite triad, the second inversion triad. In this case, it's C, F, and A. Now, in the key of C, if we're doing a 3-chord simple blues, we have C as our first chord that we're covering, right? Well, what's the 4 chord of the C blues? Guys, I will just loop this first chord of C until you tell me what's the 4 chord in the simple C blues. I'll get my practice in while I'm waiting for you guys. All right, Vicky gave me 2 answers. Okay, so you're correct with one of those. Which one is it? What's the 4 chord of the C blues? That's right. David, you got it. Okay, both of y'all have it. So you're correct. It's F. Now, why in the world am I even bringing that up? Because I want you to notice something that happens. When I play the first part of this lick, it's the triplet, and it's coming right out of the C blues scale. You have the tritone, the 5th, and the root. But then, notice what happens. My middle finger comes down a whole step, and my pinky comes down a half step, and that sets me up for a second inversion triad, so an F. So if whatever key you're in, you know that when you play this lick, it's going to give you the second inversion triad of the 4 chord. So in this case, I'm in the key of C. What's the 4 chord? F. And then all you have to do to finish this lick is give me the minor to major third slide. You have C minor to C major. And notice that I keep rocking it back and forth with the C. I do 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And then what I want you guys to do is practice that very slowly, hands separately, and I love it when you count out loud as well. 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and then 2. So how do you lock that up with the left hand? 1 and then 2. Notice what I just did. Thank you very much for that, Vicky. So I went to C and A, and notice that when I went to C and A, I'm on the C, the F chord in second inversion. 1 and then 2 and, now watch this, 3 and 4 and then the last one is by itself. 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4. Now, once you get this shape, and you could play it very straight to get it and very slow. 1 and then. Let me repeat that again. 1 and then. So I could just do that, and then I add the next part. 1 and then 2. Okay, now I'm locking this up. 1 and then 2 and, that's by itself, and then 3 and. So you see how we're taking apart any kind of lick and learning how to straighten it out, and if necessary, you count in triplets. 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4 and here's the great thing. If we're working on a slide key, you're going to have this fingering for all of the slide key notes. So in the case of a C blues, a 3-chord blues, what am I doing? C up to F and up to G. C is the 1 chord of a simple blues, F is the 4 chord, you're going to hear that, and G is the 5 chord. But when I go up to F, I'm going to do the same thing. The root 5th of the F scale gives me F and C, and the root 6th bass line gives me the F and D from an F scale. And in my right hand, I'm going to build an F7 chord. 1, 3, 5 of the F major scale. Remember that whenever you're spelling chords, you always think of that particular key of the chord you're spelling. Very important, especially for my beginners out there to know. It's something you kind of have to get used to doing. If I'm trying to build a 1, 3, 5, 7 chord, 1, 3, 5 flat 7 chord, an F7 chord, I need to think of the scale of F major. So 1, 3, and 5 of F major. And then to find the flat 7, how do you do that? If you go down a half step from your root of F, you get a major 7. If you go down another half step, now you get a 1, 3, 5 flat 7 over a bluesy kind of 7 to go with your blues. So now if you get to this shape, F7, watch what happens. My index finger is going to go up a whole step, so 2 notes, and notice that it's right next door to my middle finger. Now I'm set up perfectly. Watch this. 1 and then. Now I'm doing an F blues scale type shape. 1 and then watch what happens. Remember, my middle finger is going to come down a whole step and my pinky is going to come down a half step. And what did I just do right there? That is a triad in second inversion. And what triad is this in second inversion? Does anybody know? This is really important, and this is going to lock it all up. But when I play it, it'll be this. Tell me what triad this is in second inversion. B flat. Yeah, that's right, Vicky. So a normal B flat triad would be B flat, D, and F. And then a first inversion, you take the bottom, put it on top. Now you have D, F, and B flat, and do it again, and now you have F, B flat, and D. So notice that once again, if I'm doing an F7 lick, watch this. I go 1 and then 2. And so now I'm in my mind thinking already as I start this lick, what's the 4 chord of an F blues? Well, it's B flat. And I know that by just doing this one simple movement, it will get me into the B flat in second inversion. And then what do we have to do again is just go minor third to major third. 1, and so we have 1 and then 2 and 3. Okay, now we have one more to do, and then we're going to put it all together, and we'll do one different bass line. We'll do the 8th note bass line, and then we'll call it a day. So hang in there with me, guys. We're almost done. We have 8 people watching. Make sure you like this video. We're almost done, but we're doing great. So the 5 chord of the C blues is what? Should be pretty easy. I'll just go ahead and tell you guys no, it's the G chord, right? So to build a G7, we have to think of G major, which has 1 sharp, F sharp. And remember that as we're building chords, whatever chord you're trying to build, you're using a formula and you're saying, okay, from G has 1 sharp, it's F sharp, and because I'm building this chord on G7, I have to think of the G scale. So 1, 3, 5 of the G scale. How do I find the flat 7 of G? If I go down a half step from the root, it's going to give me a G major 7. If I go down a whole step, it'll give me the flat 7. And there are my notes right there. Well, how do I get to this lick? I'm going to take my index finger, I'm going to go up a whole step, but that's also right next to my middle finger, and it sets me up perfectly. But now I'm sort of thinking about the G major blues scale, but notice that my right here, I'm going to go index finger up, and now I have 1 and then, now watch, middle finger goes down a whole step, pinky goes down a half step. And what chord am I on now for a second inversion triad? What second inversion triad is that? And the way you're going to think about it is from G, that's right, Vicky, it's C, and I know David's thinking the same thing. Notice that my hand is already in the C in second inversion, 1 and then 2. Isn't that really nice the way that automatically you know from a G chord, you say, what's the 4 chord of a G blues? And you say C. Or what's the 4th note of the G scale? It's C. And I know that I'm going to get to this second inversion triad. And then the last thing to do is minor third to major third. Yeah, we should ban Vicky from answering so fast. Okay, so let's do a review. We have 8 people watching. Thank you for that. 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 times. F. 2 measures on F. Now, at the very end, I did a C turnaround, just like we did this morning in our Blues Academy. We did C, E, F, F sharp, G. And what is a turnaround? It's a set of chord changes or a bass line or a lick or something to help get you to the top of the form again. A turnaround, we're doing, in this case, a bass line, C, E, F, F sharp, G, and then we're going to go back to the top of the form. I can also play a lick to go along with that. Or again. And then it starts over again. Okay, so here we go. No, you just need to get better. David, you're doing great. What are you talking about? You're double dipping. You came this morning and you came today, and it's been great having you back this week. Okay, so let me do this again. Very important. I'm going through all of the chords one more time, and I want you guys to practice. I'll do a quick review, and then we're going to add the new bass line. So this is just another one lick, one idea that you need to get in your playing, and then you're learning a new vocabulary word, something that you can use in your improv. So this morning we did this. We did the Ray Charles stuff, and we did off the fifth again. And then on F, same thing. And then we did the third. On the third. And then we're going to add this new idea. Here we go. Okay, very cool, something we just did. So we did this morning. We did the Ray Charles lick where we did it off the fifth or at the third. That was in our Blues Academy. And then just now for everybody, we did this idea. And all I did is sort of mix and match those two ideas, right? I didn't decide ahead of time, I'm going to do this one, that one. No, once you learn and you practice one piece of material over and over, it will become supernatural and very easy for you guys. So we do... and maybe I just want to wear that out for days and do that again. Reminder of what I just did there. In my turnaround, instead of doing a lick in the right hand, I just did the blues scale coming down. C, and remember that if you go up to the third note and you come down a whole step, and then chromatically you arrive at the fifth note of whatever key you're in. So we have, if I'm in the key of F, I went up to the third of the F scale and down to the flat 7 chromatically and end on the fifth. That's just a fun little trick. Okay, now to put it all together, we did the quarter note bass line, but we also have the eighth note bass line, 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4. Notice how I'm going to lock that up. 1 and then 1 and then 2 and. So the first one, 1 and then 1 and then 2 and then. And notice that when I get to that C and A, I'm on the C again. one little bonus tip is that when you go to the F chord, you can also do this. Watch. When I go to the F chord, so instead of going up here, I can stay here because that gives me the flat 7 of F. That's the reason that works, and the 9th if you want to do that, so you have this kind of sound. That's the reason that works. It's just a fun way to kind of hang out in that spot. And remember, we've always said that if you play a C blues and we're in the key of C, we know our blues scale notes are going to work for the key of C over the entire thing. All right, here we go. I'm just going to improv right now on the things we've done over the last couple of days. Many of them in the Blues Academy and a few of them on YouTube. So here we go. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Alarm's going off. Here we go. One more time. How about the lick from today? How about this from last night? Right there, remember, is whatever key you're in, you go up to the 3rd and the root on top to the 9th to the flat 7. I did that wrong. All right, let's do it a little faster. I've got to go in just a second. Yeah, good to see you, David. See you Monday morning, ready to go. All right, guys, have fun with all that. If you've enjoyed this, please put it in the chat or leave a comment, and also let me know what you're enjoying. The one that I forgot to do is do Blues Volume 1, Example 1. Add that to the mix. You get that minor third to major third. Isn't that so nice to be able to use that Blues Volume 1, Example 1? Now go to the lick. Yeah, so one of those examples, or this idea right here, it's actually not a hard lick. I'll go over it another time, but it's out of Blues Volume 1. Hey, thank you to everybody who's been hanging out for this Friday night lesson, 2 lessons in one day. The one this morning from our Blues Academy, and this, I love that we've been going live lately for our YouTube community. Thank you so much for getting us to 15K on YouTube. That's pretty awesome. I hope you have a great day. If anybody has any questions about our Blues Academy, just shoot me an email, and I would love to talk to you about it. And there's never any pressure, and I can always get somebody involved if they're just wanting to learn about it, and we'll talk. So you can email me, bob@imusicacademy.com. You can send me any kind of message. You can email me at bob@imusicacademy.com as well, bob@imusicacademy.com. All right, guys, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. And to all of our Academy members, I'll see you on Monday morning at 8 a.m. ready to go finish up Blueberry Hill this next week. And then we're on to the next blues song. Have a great day. See you in the next video.